What's going on, people? It's your boy, Brass Tux in this bitch. It's time for The Great Gatsby. Now, I'm sorry, people, I was a bit late on this one. I was. Because initially, I wasn't going to pick it up until it dropped in price, because I saw it on 3D. I loved it in 3D, absolutely loved it. 3D was spectacular. The movie I wasn't expecting to like, but I really did enjoy it. Tobey Maguire was good in it. Leonardo DiCaprio, I think it's a fucking shame that he hasn't won an Oscar until now. For The Revenant, now The Revenant was a good film, yeah, but I've seen him act better and I've seen him in better movies where he's been more deserving. Wolf of Wall Street should have won it for that. Great Gatsby should have won it for that. Gangs of New York should have won it for that. It is a tragedy in this bitch. He's one of the greatest actors of our time, like for real. But in any case, the movie itself, quite enjoyable. I really had a good time watching it. I do recommend watching it to anyone who hasn't seen it already. But that being said, let's just get on with this bitch. Great Gatsby, shot in 5K. Visual effects rendered at 2.5K, digital intermediate 2K, upscaled to 4K. 5.1 DTS HA master audio. Which is a bit of a disappointment. Just on a side point, with a movie like that that's so vibrant, that's filled with music, that's just all atmosphere pretty much. Why would you not have a Dolby Atmos track is beyond me. I have no idea, but that's beside the point. Let's talk about the actual transfer itself. This is a mixed bag. Now, this is gonna vary from reference to improvement. Straight off the bat, you do notice detail. You notice detail and you notice the colors, right? In the opening scene where you got all the fireworks and, is it fireworks? Yeah, you got all the fireworks and shit. The HDR does a really good job of having those colors pop out of the screen. It really does. Okay, and throughout the movie, it's a pretty colorful movie. So there are bits when it comes to light and when it comes to the neon lights and especially light in dark areas, the HDR does a phenomenal job of really making those colors pop. Skin tones are fairly accurate. There is a definite increase of detail, close-ups of the face, textures. When Leonardo DiCaprio driving in his car, you see the reflections off the car and everything, and it felt a lot more prominent in this 4K release. You do notice these things. Things are a lot more noticeable. There is an uptick in detail, but there is also an uptick in film noise, which is another problem, because there are some scenes, especially when they're at Gatsby's house, where I think in the daytime that there is a lot of noise and you're just like, shit, this actually doesn't look that much better than the Blu-ray. You know, there are times where it's very, I mean, the best way to describe this movie is inconsistencies, yeah, but it will never ever look worse than the actual Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looked great, the 3D Blu-ray looked great. This definitely looks better. It looks as good as the Blu-ray, but it also looks reference in parts too. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely inconsistent, but the greats are fantastic. In some dark parts, there was a little bit of crush, which is strange to me, because in dark scenes there was a little bit of crush, and in other dark scenes it looked fantastic. So it's hard to say. Just final thoughts in closing, really. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is this the best version of this movie? Yes. Is this the best 4K Blu-ray? No. Okay, it had all the potential to be pretty stellar, but the inconsistencies bring it down. Should you pick it up? Yeah, you should pick it up, but probably wait for the price to drop a little bit. It's not worth the full price. Over here in the UK, it's around £25. I'd probably pick it up if it was 15. You know, so as it's an older title as well, I would definitely wait for the price to drop. But yes, at its best, it looks fantastic. At its worst, it looks a little better than the Blu-ray. Yeah, but I don't like the film grain in movies. Sometimes it gets a bit too much, and obviously when you're upscaling from a 2K digital intermediate, I would imagine that you actually are going to get a bit more film grain or a bit more noise, because that usually is what happens. In terms of the special effects, there are some special effects. You know, it's kind of 50-50. Some of the special effects look great. You don't notice them, which means they look great, right? And other parts, you do notice little bits and pieces, a green screen here, a green screen there, just a few little things, but overall, it's decent. Do you know what I mean? It's a decent release. Very rarely are we going to find a 4K Blu-ray that actually looks worse than the 1080p Blu-ray. You know, so in that respect, 99% of the time, it's going to be the best version to get. The worst case scenario is this is going to look just a tad bit better than Blu-ray. Hit the like button if you like the video. hit the subscribe. You better subscribe. And I got near enough 200 subscribers. Thank you guys. Got love for you. But do you know what I mean? You better start. There's people watching this shit ain't even subscribing. I don't understand. But anyway, fuck all that. Your boy out in this bitch.